barber shops. Oh, there was a music store and
turn.
Yeah, I wonder what was
sewing
doing.
machine store. The bank in the corner.
Was the hotel there?
Yeah, the hotel was there. There was Globe Hospital.
Yeah, that was Globe Hospital, the first hospital in Freeport.
Yeah.
And Winishek was there.
Yeah. Well, Winishek is on the corner. No, not where in the same block.
Because it said that there's a sign that says Winishek was the oldest.
Up here, that house, those houses right there is where Rockefeller came.
Oh yeah, which one, Mother? Isn't it one on this side of the street?
I think we just passed it. We passed it. She had it on, I think, when we went past it. When we went around the corner, she could see it. He used to come out here. He had another woman out here.
Well, he lived here, didn't he?
Yeah, he lived here. Rockefeller. What was his name? Not W.T. Raleigh, but... Now what are you doing?
Going up to Stevenson Street, I gotta get to the Family Life Center, and I don't...
Was something like the house I was born in.
That one?
Yeah, something like that. It had
That's
pillars in the
beautiful
front,
place.
fancy front door, and was real tall. Aren't you going out the
No, tell her.
She's got to get the tape. Oh, she's going to get the other tape recorder.
Oh,
This is the Raleigh.
Raleigh, W.T.
Yeah, you better take a picture of that because it may be gone.
What's his name? It's Frank Lloyd Wright house, like a pattern of Frank Lloyd Wright.
Uh-huh.
Bob and Joyce's house still isn't sold, Laurie.
You're kidding. Well, maybe they're supposed to come back.
But they were friend of Ruth. Yep, Ruth.
That's where you went to school.
Nope.
You didn't go to...
No. We came, when I went to high school, we came from that road to the north, down, and then we went on to Stockton.
You don't want to go up that road?
No. Anyway, I rode in a Model T Ford coming down that hill from school.
Tiger Whip Road.
Turned at Tiger Whip, and we lost control, and we went across this ditch right here, wobble, 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 back and forth, and landed right in front of the schoolhouse door, right side up.
Wow.
Oh. But I wasn't driving, I was just
Like an
driving.
adventure?
Who was driving?
Arvilla Campmeyer. Honey Campmeyer.
How old was she?
Same age as I was,
Which was?
which was probably 14, 15.
You didn't have to have driver's license.
No. The intersection of 78 and 20. And we're going to turn up 78 north.
Ooh, sorry.
And I remember when this highway was built. It was built in the mid-1920s. Before that, it was just gravel road up this way. This is the highway between Stockton and Warren.
The north-south. All you can see is the north.
And here's the mound. And the mound's still there. It's funny they didn't cut it down, but in the late 1920s, they didn't do much of that. They just
How far can
surfaced
you
the
see
road.
this?
How far when you get over the hill?
No, but I mean, how far can you see this? Like if you're in, can you see it like
Oh, miles
30
away,
miles.
yeah.
Now you can see north about, long ways, 50 miles. Here,
here you can see north 50 miles?
no, 25.
Oh, okay. Now there is quite a view from here. There's a lot of these little mound things around here,
Now, that's the Townsend
Well,
mound over there.
Where?
That's the Townsend, that's where we're going to go over that mound.
Which one, Grandma?
Oh, where you can see the edge of the hill with the blue hills over there.
Okay.
That's the Townsends. That's where the Townsends. One Townsend took one side, and then another Townsend took the other side.
Hmm. Well,
How far are we going here, Mother?
How far are we gonna go up here?
Yeah.
3-4 miles.
Okay.
who was it that was saying one of these mounds around here is where the Ku Klux Klan members held their meeting?
Really?
You don't
Probably
remember that,
one
huh?
there.
That's what I was thinking, that big one back there was the one Joe. I don't know if it was
I would
Joe
think
that
that-
told me.
I didn't know.
Somebody in the Bagan family said that.
This used to be a school. And at one time, my folks lived in this house. Right,
Yeah,
this farmhouse.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Right here?
It was a bunker farm, yeah. And that's the house where I first saw, they used to have people, when they died, you kept them in the coffin in the living room. And you went to their house to visit.
Hmm.
And that's the first person that was dead in a coffin in the living room that I saw.
Is that they lived there when I was a child, Mother, or is that
Yeah.
not the place? Okay, I remember that place. That's interesting because it's got a window.
School where I went to school. Schultz's lived there, Lau's lived there, McPhillips's lived here. I think they still live there, Schultz's. Phillips's farm. Up here was Mabel Bartell. Where all that is used to be the 4-H leader. Now we're gonna go over up there.
Oh,
That's where I
right.
was born.
Okay.
Point again?
Yeah.
Which way?
We're gonna go
East. We're gonna go east.
Right.
And right down here where this house is where I was lost, and there was a silo pit, and they found me running around in that silo pit right there. Right.
How old were you then?
About 2 years old.
How'd you get there?
Me and my dog, we came up this road. Right here's where I went to school. Here's where the Greenville School was.
Where that house is?
Yeah, that was Greenville School. Beautiful schoolyard. Those big trees were all the way around it. Now up here at the farm is where I was born.
Right here.
Yeah, that farm there. And I lived there until I was a teenager. So that's where I think home is. And the barn was there. I don't know if it was that barn or not, but that barn was at that place. Oh man, I can tell you. And there's a grove. The grove is still there. The house is all different. There were trees all around it. It was a fancy homestead. It had a fancy house, and it was.
So the house is gone, and that's not
Yeah,
the house.
The house is all gone. Some of the trees are there. And I can tell you where everything was. Right up here's the tree. Those trees were there when I lived there.
Turn around and come back then?
Yeah, so I can get on the other side of
The
it.
farmland was there.
This is your
And then we owned this 20 acres down here. But we didn't own this right here. And we owned 40 acres up on the next corner. And the people that lived in that house were Dittmers.
Where?
That right there.
Right there?
And they had, their children lived in Chicago. And when we went in Chicago, that's who we stayed with.
The
We
Dittmers.
stayed overnight, yeah. Dippers. Gus and Martha were their name. And then, see, we owned this 20 acres. That's where my dad got stuck with the
Looks like
Titan
a water
tractor.
goes through here.
We're
A Titan
gonna-
tractor?
Yeah, we're gonna turn around up here at this next.
I see.
And we drove steers up and down this hill. Of course, all the fields were fences. This is where Kuntzes lived. They were kind of different. And we drove steers, like 20 to 30 steers up and down this road from the farm up to this corner. And you're gonna turn around at this corner and go back. Granddad owned this 40 acres on the southeast corner here. He owned that 40 acres. We're going to turn around here.
Right.
This was mud road there. But when I was little, this was gravel. Now we turn around. Those are the hills I stomped on when I was a kid. Up and down these hills.
Yeah, look and make
Imagine
sure we don't
driving
see any dried
steers.
weeds we want, Laurie, while we're driving along here. And the temperature today is approximately 65, I believe it's going
Right.
to be on, of course
Yep.
you have the date on there, right, Laurie?
Yeah, but can't you make it go away?
Yeah,
How?
stop the thing.
And the folks lived in that house, Dittmer house, too, after they moved off of the farm. They
No,
lived
the
in
house
that.
is gone
The
now,
house is gone.
but that's the barn that was there.
Yeah. Now here's a view of the.
Right there, right here.
Yeah. Now here's the. Now go to where I was born and raised. Those trees. That's part of the trees.
Too bad I can't tape the smell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too bad.
Yeah.
The smell is perfect.
Ugh,
Yeah. I wonder. I don't.
those
see
are
any-
cows,
Where are
right?
they
No,
must have
it's
spread
like
manure.
hogs.
They must have
Oh,
spread
man.
I
manure.
think it's hogs.
I think.
Oh, all the stories I can tell you about this place. But this was only in the 1920s. We had a horse barn. We had an orchard.
Yeah, what it was like. How many horses did you have?
Oh, 6. You didn't put work horses on a buggy. You had buggy horses, horses for a
Like the
buggy.
Amish
See,
have.
and there's the Townsend Hills over there. See the blue hills?
Mm-hmm. Except I'm
We're
passing
gonna
all
go over
those.
the other side of that now.
This is
and-
it right here.
And
Would any of these buildings have been standing? I mean, are they
No.
still, any of the buildings still standing? None of them at all.
only the barn was there. I might be
The
the same
silo?
frame. No,
The silos weren't there.
that silo might have been there, but I don't think so. That's the same frame of the barn, I think.
That's not this. Well,
I
it
don't
could be
know.
the same barn, Grandma. That's a pretty old
That
barn.
could be it.
Yeah,
That could be
I
the
think
barn.
it is. Same barn. That's the only thing I see. Is
Although
the
it's got
and
cement
those
blocks
trees,
and not
we had a
rocks, so
grove of
I don't
trees
know.
there for
Chances are
wood.
it's not.
They had their own trees for wood.
Now the
And this is
Townsend.
as far as I walked to school, like a fourth of a mile.
Huh.
The school was right on this corner up here.
Yeah,
So the Townsend Hills are right there.
yeah.
Okay.
And now we're gonna go cross
Townsend
country over
Mounds.
to that. That's where my dad and mother were born.
Okay, and I'm gonna shut this
They're-
off now.
Okay. They're
That goes
natives.
forever.
I can tell you that at the end of this mile is a farmer that raised tobacco back when I was a kid. He always raised tobacco.
Here in this area.
Yeah, here in this area.
Huh.
Oh, gee. This morning I thought of his name. Now I can't think of his
No,
name.
it'll come back in.
And Rollins has lived there, but that was way back in the field. And this road is the road to the grandparents' house, which we went on quite a bit.
Oh, like if you were going over the river through the woods to
Yeah,
Thanksgiving?
this is where we went. Like when we were in the sled for Christmas, in the hay, and there was all snow here, and the horses, and this is the road we went on. And down here,
This is a pretty. Is this steep coming up here?
yeah, it's steep.
Oh, it sure looks steep through this view thing.
Now,
I bet you could
the
really
guy that
get
raised
going.
the tobacco lived in that house back there, and he always raised it in this corner right down here. Always, there was like 20 acres of tobacco.
Do people pick it and smoke it?
Nope, he raised it and sold it.
I mean, the kids.
No, we didn't do stuff like that.
Yeah, right. Grandpa did.
No, we didn't. Right in here.
I don't think
Always,
she's
that was
talking about your
tobacco.
family
That
in
was always
particular,
tobacco.
Mother. I think
Okay,
she's-
now then we go straight on and
Kids.
Aunt Hills lived in that house there.
And tell her who Hills
Point
are.
again, Grandma.
Ambrose, Aunt Mary, my mother's sister, and
Point.
Uncle Amy lived in that house there.
The one on her right coming.
And my mother, when she first learned to drive, and when we
And this is familiar. Washboard
In the-
gravel roads.
summertime, this hill was steeper than it is now, I think, and it was trees on every side and rocks and everything. And the car hill going halfway up
This is
this
that
hill.
story.
And us kids, she held her foot on the brake and the clutch, and we had to get out and go find a rock and put it behind the tires in order to get up the hill.
For heaven's sake.
Then
I've heard that.
that held the car there. We were so scared because we thought we'd have an accident. Oh! And we went and found a rock and put it behind the wheel, and then she could start the car and get going again.
Sorry, I gotta get this.
And now, up over here, there wasn't any place there. This was all woods, deep woods.
Well, it looks deep woods to me still.
You know where we're going?
Yeah,
Oh,
I know where we're going.
It's beautiful.
Oh, I gotta put
I want to build a house here.
And
Right there would be good.
Uncle Claude and Aunt Irene lived back
What do
there.
you think, Joe? Right there. Where?
Uncle Claude Townsend.
Say
Uncle Claude
right and
Townsend.
left.
Uncle
Say, okay.
on your right.
Right,
Okay.
on the right. Uncle Claude and Aunt Irene lived there. Townsend, Uncle Claude Townsend.
Rita's father.
This is jamming,
father.
Rita's
man.
father.
Rita's
and,
father.
And Madge's father.
Yeah. Harlan's.
Harlan's father.
Beautiful.
And the other one
This
is
is-
Wellness.
This was where we went in the sled, in the snow, with the horses pulling us.
Well, they probably did. I
It
hope
looks
his
like
car
this
does.
along here, huh?
Yeah.
Probably all the way along.
Hope no young kid comes flying up over this hill. Ugh. This is beautiful landscape. Oh, just think what it looks like in the fall.
Yeah, depending
There
on
aren't
whether
as many trees as there were. Just think of the farmers. How could they farm this?
Yeah, Bob and I were talking about that.
Oh,
And why so many stands of trees were left instead of they didn't clear cut like they did down south. And Bob said probably because they couldn't cut them down.
Yeah,
The
this was
topography wouldn't allow them to.
native farm. Back over here, now all the buildings are down right there.
That must be a
No
railroad
buildings
over
there
there,
anymore.
huh? Is that a railroad over there? Is that why there's a ridge there? Or is it just a ridge? Like some sharp ridge.
Just little creeks all over the place. There used to be houses here, a house here. Now we're gonna come up to a sharp corner unless they change it.
Oh, there's a hawk on the, see him?
Yeah.
No, it's not a hawk, oh, is that a peregrine? Holy cow, I think that was a peregrine.
Missed him.
Yes.
Sorry, folks. Sorry,
Not
folks.
a hawk.
Sorry.
Sure looked like peregrine to me. It's a falcon. Whatever it was a falcon.
Now you're coming to a sharp corner
Pretty
up here.
exciting. I didn't bring my binoculars. Rats. It's alright, I got it.
Someplace.
Drive.
Oh, it's a little ways yet further.
I hope we didn't change these roads around too much.
I didn't know this road isn't
I
as
wouldn't
good,
have any idea where I
but like it was when I left. Huh. I just think that would hurt your neck.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mother. Something happened to my neck in the night because it's not
This is where the house was.
Guy probably thinks we're nuts.
Why would he think that? Because we're taping?
He was coming out of that garage when I was videotaping him.
No, we're right straight north of Stockton. There's the mound, the end of the mound up there.
I can't
Over
see
there.
it. On the wrong side.
Is it the horse?
This is the sharp corner. Boy, Graham, you're pretty good at remembering all that.
Oh, seems like yesterday.
Well, I don't remember roads like that from a long time ago.
Went on 'em as many
That's
times.
because you didn't live on any country roads. If you live in
This
a
is
town,
all I
you
lived.
only
This
ever
is
lived
my
in a
life,
town.
my whole life for the first 20 years.
Yeah.
You don't forget that. Trust me, I wouldn't forget that.
Just the first, the only place place you were. You weren't anyplace else. Now,
It's beautiful.
now we're coming to the cement highway. I think that cold air would hurt your neck.
No, it doesn't. I'm hot. My neck is stiff from something. I did something to it yesterday. I don't know what it was, but it hasn't
Well, that's the mound which the Townsends, one took one
Wonder
side,
if
one
there's
took the other side.
any-
I don't know. Sorry. My dad and mother could tell you, but I can't.
Actually, I think that's a newer dwelling that may be burned or something.
We're gonna stop up here.
We are. Gosh, look at the view. This is unbelievable.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to do the tape and the... I ought to get out and
Right
tape it
about-
standing out.
You could do
Right
that.
about, turn the corner.
You may just stop here.
Turn the corner.
Pull
again.
over a second
But,
once.
yeah,
Go yet.
But
a little
Mother,
bit
if
more.
we stop down
Now
here-
right here, at the crest of this hill right here.
She knows where the
Right
views
here.
are.
Yeah,
Right
but-
here.
But somebody
Stop.
can come around that corner. We can't
No,
stop here.
nobody will
Just
come
pull
around
over a
that
little bit.
corner.
If they do,
aren't
there's
coming
room.
around that corner.
Hold on a second, folks.
Now, Granddad Darnell's lived over there. That was far enough.
Okay,
Those are Granddad Darnell's woods down there.
this way.
Yeah, that way.
Okay, and then I'm going to start panning over here.
That's right.
Okay.
Now, I don't know all of the people that live, but right over there
Uh-huh.
is the Logemann farm.
Okay.
And this farm down here, Aunt Laura and Uncle Bob lived there when I was in high school. I worked for them summers.
And that's
I
Aunt
was a hired-
Laura.
Aunt Laura Wing.
Okay.
Aunt Laura was my mother's sister.
Okay.
And on further about 6 miles is Apple River Canyon State Park.
Mm-hmm. And that's
Down there lived Davenport's, my mother's friend.
boy, it's nippy out here.
Yeah. I felt a little drop of rain like.
Say that one more time.
This is the beginning of the mound
You can
that you
This-
can see from Freeport.
This is the
you
back
can
side
see
of the
from
mound.
Lena, from Wadhams, you can see this mound.
Darnold, and which was the Townsend
Grandmother.
relative, and
Grandmother.
grandmother, which was grandmother Townsend.
Rebecca Matilda.
Rebecca Matilda. See, Joe, I told you Matilda. I was
Right,
like, I
no,
couldn't
sure,
think
in
of
that
her
way.
name.
I'm going
I
that
was
way,
right.
Mother. I have to
I
stop.
said Rebecca, and then I said Matilda, and I
Yep.
was right on both accounts. I said, I can't remember what her name
And
was.
they lived where? Right down here?
No, up further.
Further, all right. Figure it
We're gonna turn at the first
out.
turn.
Which highway is this?
This is Apple River Canyon Road.
Oh,
Yep. This road I know.
We're going south.
Now we're gonna go turn and go west up here. I can get around the curve.
We are
Yeah.
on the Townsend Road.
On Townsend Road. Because that
This-
takes
no,
you...
this is Townsend Road.
Well, but
Now
this
we're
is
gonna
Townsend
turn
Road.
now. We're gonna turn. You gotta
Right.
turn.
Yes, Mother.
Here lived Posies, and they were kind of, they chopped a hole in the floor and he spit down there in the hole. in the floor.
Gross. So they were like
Yeah, kind of.
hillbillies.
Hillbilly. And here's Albion School. That's where my mother taught. A
Right
little bit.
there?
Assistant teacher, yes. And on the other side of that was a church called Rush Church. And
Rush.
that's Rush.
Yes. Yep.
And-
Yep.
This is the Boy Scout Canyon Camp Road.
Uh-huh.
And Rush Church is probably where my mother and father met. Anyway, they sang in a quartet here. They had a quartet that they both sang in. And it would be right about there, I guess. Right there. Yeah. And that's the first church I went to. And the other people, Flax Sewing Center in Freeport, his folks went there too. He did too when he was a kid. And up here it's Granddad and Grandmother's farm. Right? Oh, that's the same barn. That's the same barn that Granddad had. barn. And this is where Granddad and Grandmother Darno lived.
Ooh, window, window, window.
They had their own electric plant way back in 1920. This was all open. That wasn't any buildings there. That was a beautiful yard that they kept mowed. That was a barnyard. They didn't allow livestock in there, just chickens and stuff. And then,
Oh,
and
good
the
shot of the
garage was over
barn.
there on the other side.
Had a
So would that
really.
be the original house?
No.
You sure?
That one house looked something like that.
Wait.
And they had a garage. Oh yeah, that garage is still there. That's where the electric plant. That garage, that's where Granddad's car was always.
In there. Something.
In that garage. Oh my gosh. This is as far as we need to go. He drove like 60 miles an hour back in 1920, and you just saw a cloud of dust go. Whew. Those trees were there. Down there was where we used to go pick gooseberries and get the cows and got our Christmas tree from the woods down there. It's a great big woods.
So Grandfather Darnell is Richard what?
Richard
I
William
should tell this
Darnell.
lady what we're doing.
Yeah, that house is kind of like the last house that was there. And that's where the log cabin house was, back of this. Where my mother
Hi there. We're just looking at the place because my mother's grandfather lived here back in the 1920s. And my daughters were going around looking at places.
What's the name?
It was Darnell. Richard Darnell lived here in the 20s, Mother?
Yeah.
Darnell, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
How long have you lived here?
Oh, since 57.
57.
Tell her my dad was Ira Logemann.
Oh, yeah, her dad was Ira Logemann. Did you know Ira Logemann?
Yeah,
this
I remember this name.
She's Lucille Logemann. I'm her daughter, and this is my
What's
daughter.
her name?
So-
What's her name?
What is your...
That's.
That's not the road we just came down. The road we came down was over on the other
Oh,
side of
that's
the
true.
mountain, Laurie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What mound is this, Grandma?
It's the same mound,
the
it's just sort of
Townsend.
continuing. This is Townsend Road we're on. Can you get the sign? Probably not with the sun in your...
Does it say that?
Yep,
Yeah.
it says Townsend Road. I know.
Oh, sure. Or I mean in the Townsend Homestead. In the Townsend Cemetery?
Now go on.
Well, let her...
Now here's the
You
rock
wanna get
that
out?
I
Why
was
don't you
here.
get out and take...
These are Logemann cows.
I'll get the camera. Ridiculous.
What? Okay, now you start talking.
I was here when this was dedicated in 1929. So, and this house is the house that was built by George N. and Mary Miner.
Wait,
This is where my grandmother Darnell was born.
say that, George. Say it again, because the truck went by.
George N. and Mary Miner Townsend.
Uh-huh.
And this is where my grandmother Darnell was born. Rebecca Matilda Townsend.
Shall I go tell them we're here? See if anybody's home.
Livestock truck. They probably are.
Been in it. We went on a tour of it.
Oh.
It's a real nice house. He was showing us where they took all the furniture out of the front room and they had dances and stuff for the war guys. They had a post office. During the war, they had
Yeah.
the mail would come here. Maybe someday I'll live in this house. Be cool, wouldn't it?
people live in the trailer. People live in the trailer.
No, they don't.
Get the mound over there. Turn and get the mound.
Okay.
You can't see it from here. The dog gets to good. We ought to run down to the cemetery, Laurie.
Dig it, Lisa.
Here's Beulah and Harlan.
You see that?
Look at Beulah and Harlan, Terry Ann. Look at here.
George
When they were
Nelson's
married
tombstone.
and when they were born.
Now, Mother, are there,
I just thought this was a cool tombstone.
what about Grandfather Darnell and Grandmother Darnell? Are they buried here? Is that where they're buried up there where it says Townsend? No. Who's Ori Terrell, Mother?
This is Samuel Asher Townsend's,
Samuel
Lisa.
Lorena Townsend, Bertha, Charles, and Sarah Red.
That's something. This is the Samuel. The other one was Samuel
I'm gonna
Jr.
run out of pictures.
This is Mitty.
There's a Townsend down there, too. But I still haven't gotten an answer from her as to whether
Bertha.
Darnells are buried here. They're buried in Warren, I think.
Who's Bortwick?
Borthwick, that's... I remember, I think Grandma Darnell has a Borthwick. William S. and S. Francis. This would have been the, goes with this. George A. and Grace. George A. That must be his son probably. These are the graves that go with it. George A.
Okay, so 18. $19.29.
You've got the other.
Oh, it's going. We just got
You
done
could-
eating at Katie's place in
Why don't-
Stockton.
You could have Mother hold this. Laurie, have her hold
That's
it.
fine. Give it to her. Oh, you can't. You're
Didn't
driving.
get to the place we
Here, I'll
lived
do
on
it.
after we lived on
Mother?
the farm. I didn't show you that.
Hold the tape recorder, Mother.
We went to this really nice little boutique right here on the corner.
Cornerstone Creations.
It's
Oh,
neat.
the other way.
Why?
South.
We want to be sure we go to Grandmother Logeman's. I mean, not. Why are we going
First
south?
house that we
Oh, she
moved to
wants
Stockton
all right,
in.
all right. She wants to do it in chronological order. Sorry.
This is downtown Stockton. I can't. Sorry, I'm swinging this so much, but
All right, we're on Railroad Avenue.
Yep, down to the
All
square
right.
house down here. Turn left. And the big white
On
black
South
house.
Ward Street.
That big house.
what was?
White and black
Right
square
here?
house. Yep.
That looks like my house, kinda.
That's the first house we
fancy
lived
now.
in
Look at that.
Stockton. That was,
window
it
down,
was
Laurie.
terrible.
Put
The
your window down.
cesspool was full and everything.
That window's dirty.
Now turn up at the corner where the
Just a minute, then. She's taping it.
Okay.
What year then is it now? Is it much
Well,
different?
it's the same frame. Now go back over the highway. But it doesn't look like that
This is
now.
Stockton,
I mean,
Lisa.
like, it's really nice now compared to where it was then.
Well, it must be a very solid house, or they wouldn't have
Yeah,
chosen to
it
fix
was
it
a
up
solid
like
house, but it was old-fashioned. It had a living room all across the front, go left,
that. I'm trying.
with pillars in between.
Oh, thank you.
Now go through town.
This used to be a
I
railroad
left to go to
bridge
Freeport from there.
I
Then
got
I went
it.
to
Yeah.
Freeport.
Okay. That's a nice house, though, Grandma.
Yeah.
Here's where we ate. Right there. Woods Pharmacy's been here for
And this is the shop we were at.
Now you can turn right.
Vanderheiden Furniture, has that been there for a long, long time?
Yeah.
Right?
You can turn right here.
Okay. This is East Benton. Going east.
This is the Methodist Church and the Catholic Church across the corner. Up here, turn left.
This is the Methodist Church here.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's pretty.
Not the one we went to, though. There's two of them. Turn left.
That
Pretty
house is
church.
nice. Look at this house here.
Mm. Looks like it could be
Oh.
fixed up.
Oh, beautiful.
Wouldn't that be gorgeous?
Oh,
if they Fixed it up, Laurie.
dog. Look at that work. That's all original. Wonder how old that place is. Was that here when you were here, Grandma?
Yeah.
Who lived there? Did you take down the address of that place, Laurie?
I've
What
got it on
street is
tape.
This, Mother?
Hudson?
I'll look here when we get up here.
Let's see. It's Hudson. Now. Okay, the White House up there, Laurie.
Yep, this is
The
Hudson.
White House up there. This big one
Yep.
to the left.
Yep. That's the house that your father came to see me in. I mean, Sherry in. We lived there when I come back to Stockton.
This is where Dad used to come and see.
Paul.
Grandma used to come and see Grandma. Grandpa used to come and see Grandma. How old were you, Grandma?
You want to tell us anything else about this block?
I don't know if you can go right any place here or not.
Doesn't look like it.
You have to go
What,
way up
what
the other
else can
corner.
you tell us about this block?
I don't know.
I'll turn around and
Oh,
go back.
Aunt Molly Hartsoff lived way down at the corner. Where is it? It seemed like it was that house. I think it was that house.
Well, that wasn't on the corner. There is no corner until you get all the way down here. There's an
Yeah.
old house.
Who's lived there? Oh yeah, she lived in this house here.
Who was
The
it?
Logemanns, Granddad Logeman's sister. Now turn right here.
This is Summit Avenue. We're turning and going east. What's up here?
The last place we lived when we were married. When we were married, came from,
You and Grandpa?
yeah. Let's see, Stockton?
I didn't know you
Turn
and
down this
Grandpa
way.
lived in Stockton.
No. Turn down here. And
Maybe.
which house is it? One of these houses where my folks lived.
Oh.
That one. That one, I think.
That one's nice, that big old green one.
Now we do need to go to the cemetery.
Okay, now that's it. That's all the houses.
Well, no, we have
Grandma
to go to where
Darnell's.
Aunt Tootie's house. We have to see.
Oh.
Oh, and Grandma Darnell's, yes. Now Now, how close is Grandma Darnell's house? No, we gotta go on the other side of the street. We gotta go to the cemetery.
Gotta go right. Oh, you're going to the cemetery?
We gotta go to the cemetery.
Okay.
Woo, look at that place. Man,
You're gonna
that's
do
a
it at the
monster.
cemetery.
Well, I wanted, Laurie's never been to where Dana and Greg are buried.
Oh, I see. Oh.
Where Aunt Tootie's buried and where great-grandfather Logemann
Yeah,
was buried.
great grandpa's even.
No, and I didn't. We're way out on the edge here of the cemetery. Nice, peaceful place.
Well, we'll switch on the way home.
Yes.
I thought she didn't like sitting in the front seat.
She's just nice. It's high. It's so much more comfortable now sitting
No,
on
I'm comfortable. I'm going to sleep.
Oh, all right. Now this is High Street that we're on.
We're clear across the highway here.
Did you say something about that house, Mother, when we drove down here before? Seems like you said something about that house back there. Here's Hudson.
Here, I back up here again. It's the corner house right here. On the other side of this evergreen. Right here.
This with the
All right, tell us about this place, Mother. Here, wait.
Grandma Grandfather
Hold on.
Darnell's mother's house when I was going to school, high school
That's
in
good, Mom.
1936,
no more.
35. She lived here. My great grandmother Darnell. And it's the same house.
And her
Different
her name
siding.
was.
It looks just like it did.
And her name was
Her name was
Great
I don't
Grandmother
know.
Darnell.
Great Grandma Darnell. I don't know.
Should I take a picture of it? I don't know.
It's a cute
She
house.
was a gardener. She did a lot of gardening, and I never came over here to visit.
Huh.
We're gonna go past the other house. Now up here's the funeral home. Let's go drive up past there. This is Pearl Street. So this house is on the
Stockton
corner of
High School.
Pearl and High Street. That Grandma Darnell's.
Stockton High School.
This is the church where right down to our left is where Aunt Tootie's service was. The Universalist Church. It's got a real pretty. It's real pretty. And this is the Herman Funeral Home right up the street. This is where Aunt Tootie's funeral. This is where Craig's funeral was, and no, not his funeral, but his visitation. The funeral was at the church. So it looks like Galena here, doesn't it?
We were married in the church is torn down that we were married in. but
Really?
the denomination is here. It's built in a new place.
The church is torn down.
Yeah, that we were.
Is this Maple Street? No, we have to go go over. How do we get there, Mother? Can I go up around
Go
to get to
down.
Maple?
Go
Let's go
down.
up. Let's go.
Oh, well.
Rush. This is Rush Street. You don't think Maple goes as far as Rush? Maybe it does. Here it
Right
is.
down here is our church. Here's the church we were married in, but not this one. Now here's Maple.
Oh, this is the church
That's our
where
church.
Craig and Dana's
Yeah.
funeral was. Not that
Over
other
here.
one. This one.
She
All
didn't
right,
even see
Calvary
it yet.
United Methodist.
She didn't see it. Laurie didn't see
I can't go across the car. You gotta go. If you want me to get it, I gotta do it out this side.
it. Now Aunt Tootie's house is right down here.
Or I get the car, the inside of the car.
We see. Traveling down Maple, going south,
Right here.
just across Pearl.
Which house?
The
The
red
second
stone.
house.
The red stone house
Okay.
with the two green evergreens up in front.
Interesting white
The Logemann, Aunt Josephine Harris built that.
right here.
Oh, this
She
one.
was a
Yep.
chiropractor. She was grandmother Logemann's sister.
Tell us what you know about the house, Mother.
Grandmother, Granddad and grandmother Logemann lived in that after they moved off of the farm from Rush Township.
Why'd you turn the
They
car
lived
off?
here.
Because I'm
Then grandmother Logemann died here in this house, and Aunt Tootie bought it. Coppernaw, Mrs. Phyllis Coppernaw.